What's happening, XRP traders and investors? It's Rod with Pow Group. Welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Today is Monday, March 11th. Hope you had a great weekend. And in this video, we're going to do some analysis on XRP. We actually hit 74 cents USD today. And I believe that our 6-year wait is almost over. It's been hard to believe 6 years since a new all-time high, and the high just under $4 USD on XRP when it went from about half a penny and absolutely melted faces. And right now we're seeing all the signs in the market that we need to see. And unfortunately, while we see all these meme coins, all these projects that don't really do anything, they don't really have any utility. As we know, the market is very speculative and it's not really utility driven at the moment, right? Ultimately, I believe utility will win the day, and that's where we're headed. Look at the early days of the internet. Just because you were an internet company, pets.com didn't mean you had staying power, because they didn't actually have a business plan. They didn't have a business model that was sustainable, right? And a lot of people just had a website trying to ride that speculative wave and hype, right? So we're going to see over the next 3 to 5 years, we're going to see, the men and women, they're going to be separated from the boys and the girls. And right now, unfortunately, there's a lot of projects that, dog with hat, it's just hilarious that people are actually putting their hard-earned dollars into these, but kudos to people who are making money. But the great news is usually XRP is one of the ones that run toward the end of a bull market. It's usually the last run in an alt season, but when it does, it's usually a massive laggard. So we're going to be discussing the chart. We'll bring up some technicals. I'll give my thoughts and opinions on what we can expect in terms of price action in the days, weeks, months ahead. But as always, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment and informational purposes only. You should never ever buy or sell anything based on anything that I say or anything that I write. Also, make sure to give us a like. I would appreciate it very much. Love each and every one of you who supported me and follow me along the way. You can subscribe if you're new, tick the bell. You'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. Also, you can follow us over on X, formerly Twitter. The handle for that is @GroupPow. Going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. That's basically where I've been hanging out a lot lately. So we'll take a look at the XRP chart here at the moment. So the high is now 74.2 cents. So that's USD. And we're going to chart it on a few different exchanges here. And there's a few things that I want to point out. I brought this up before, but I just want to let everybody know that, typically anything that we can find on this chart right now is basically screaming bullish. It's hard to find a more bullish setup right now than XRP. And one thing that just happened was a monthly EMA 12 and 26 bull cross. We're still in a monthly uptrend, and we have a nice support here that we've established along the way. You can see low, high, higher, low, and higher high, another higher low and higher high, another brief higher low, and now we're just stuck within this range from 94 cents down to 42 cents. So we're just seeing an equilibrium with a high, low, lower high, higher low, lower high, and we're looking for that breakout. So it's all about 75 cents, and that's exactly where we topped out today. That is not a coincidence. That is because that is the equilibrium and breakout level that we're watching. So if we can get over 75 cents USD with follow through, there's a lack of resistance until 94 cents. And then after that on the monthly time frame, 141 or 150 psychological. Then after that, 196, and then the all-time high there at 330, which is on Bitfinex. Depends on the exchange that you're looking at. But as of right now, this is exactly what we want to see. Last time we had an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross, price went from all the way down at around 11 cents all the way up to $1.96. Even in the midst of a SEC lawsuit, this coin still decided to run 17x, right? $1,000 investment into $17,000 when a lot of people said, XRP was dead, right? Well, even in the face of an SEC lawsuit, arguably the biggest lawsuit in the crypto industry, right? It looked very, very bad. The coin still went from 11 cents to $1.96. So just imagine this time around when we actually have legal clarity. We know that XRP in the US is the only one with legal clarity, right? Not regulatory opinion. It actually has case law that deemed in and of itself is not a security. So what do you think is really going to happen once the wheels get moving here? And this is just the tip of the iceberg. And like I said, this has been 6 years now. If we just take a look here, it's been 2,251 days. So it's been a long time coming. We know that we're due for it, and we're all going to be rewarded heavily here, in my opinion, in the not too distant future. You can see here where we're respecting this support trend line here as well, and we've been wicking off it quite a bit, and it looks like it's finally due. If we can just get over that 75 cent mark and the rest of the crypto space doesn't have any kind of black swan or its legs, Bitcoin doesn't completely go the other way. I mean, at this point, Bitcoin's definitely due for a healthy correction, but in my opinion, we should start to see Bitcoin dominance start to fall, and that liquidity is going to fall over into other coins, right? And altcoins. And Meme coins have been running a lot lately. I've been seeing a ton of people, like I said, Dog with Hat, there's Dogecoin, there's Shiba. But I think a lot of people are going to get sucked into this, and they're going to think that, this is another meme coin phase. I think that was the last bull market. In 2021, if you look at Doge, March 2020, if you put $1,000 into Doge, you'd be like a half a millionaire if you held for a little over a year, right? So I think, the meme coin mania will still have some gains to be had, but I think the majority of that, that phase has basically, it's a thing of the past now. So now we're looking at utility-driven coins, right? Your XRPs, your XLMs, your algos, your HBARs, your chain links, maybe even quant. I think these are names that are going to really steal the show here in the next upcoming alt season. And I think this is going to be the biggest alt season yet. And if we just take a look at their fib extensions, again, I'm targeting around the 2.618 and the 3.618, which would bring us anywhere from about $11 to $8 USD. And something that I want to remind everybody here, just give everybody an update on, is how awesome this chart is. So I took the all-time price history index for Bitcoin, and I overlaid it here with the price index of XRP. And you can see how very, very similar it is. And if we just kind of zoom out a little bit here, and we take a look at where we were on the low to the breakout point to the new all-time high on XRP, we ran about 100. Actually, that's 1,000,000%. Actually, 100,000%. So that would be 1,000, just over 1,000x. So we went from the low there at 0.003 to the high at $3.31. So if we just, and this is just a rough estimate, if you just go from the low to the high there, that's about 100,000%, just over 100,000%. So if we do something similar off of the low here, let's just say this is our low here, and we go 100%, 100,000%, that would put us right around $123. So is it possible? I don't know if it's possible this cycle. I think maybe in the next bull cycle in alt season, very possible. But anything, as we know, the greater the base, the higher in space, the greater the accumulation, the greater the expansion. But just look how close we are to following this Bitcoin price history index, right? And it's just the adoption of Bitcoin from inception to where it is now. And you can see here, it's very, very similar. And we're expecting a breakout, which is basically any month now. And it's following that verbatim. And then if we just reset this chart here, zoom in a little bit, you can see here that it's saying in November, which would be an election period here in 2024, it's saying that into September, October, November is where we could potentially peak in terms of price. And where is that price peaking at? Right at $11, just under 11, so about 10.50. So again, if we go back to our previous chart with our fib extension, and if we go to say Ethereum did it, Bitcoin did it. So if they can do it, why can't XRP? If you go from the high to the low there of the 2018, 2019 bear market, you can see that it actually hit its 3.618 at 4,900. Same thing with Bitcoin. It actually came just under it. And now it has already exceeded that. So if we just bring up the Bitcoin chart here now and zoom in a little bit, let's just go remove that. So from the high of the 2017, 2018 bull market to the low of the 2019 bear market, you can see here we're now hitting, and let's just reset that. We're hitting the 4.236 at 72K. So we've already hit the 4.236. So if XRP were to do something similar, that would put us, the 4.236 would put us at $13, and then the 4.618 would put us around $15. So again, that 3.618 is very common. Ethereum did it, Bitcoin did it, tons of other coins did it. So if they can do it, why can't XRP, the only one with actual legal clarity in the US? Ripple set to IPO soon. I think we could see a case settlement here at some point, maybe even a full-blown dismissal. I think settlement's still the most likely with Ripple and SEC. And then Ripple would more than likely IPO shortly after that. So there's so many catalysts, it's not even funny. An XRP ETF eventually, whether or not it happens this cycle, I doubt it. But eventually there's going to be baskets, right? You'll have Bitcoin, you'll have Ethereum, and XRP all in one ETF, right? Essentially an index fund where you can invest in multiple baskets, they're going to call it, right? So if we just, again, follow the 3.618, that brings us to around $11. And again, that lines up perfectly with the trajectory that Bitcoin was on that we're following. And this doesn't mean the exact price is the same because the tokenomics are different and the supply is different. But overall, the percentages and the actual trend is up and to the right, and it's following it pretty similarly. So again, this says here that it could be into September, between September and November, we could potentially set a $10 to $11 XRP, and then it's forecasting about a move down to around $2, and then the tightening up, kind of bounce back up to around 7, back down to around 3, 2.5, and then potential all-time highs into, the later part of this year or this decade, right? So we're thinking, somewhere around 2029. I think easily this thing could get up to around $30-$40, but I'm going to be conservative. Most of my targets are going to be around that $8 to $11 area. So I think what I'll do is I'll start to take profit around between $4 and $5 USD is where I'll start to take profit. I'll probably take out my initial investment somewhere around that $5 mark, somewhere between $4 and $5, maybe even $4.50. And then from there, it'll just be every couple of dollars. But I pretty much expect to be fully out of XRP. I'll probably hold maybe 5-10% of my bag, which is a very large bag. My biggest holding by far. If you haven't seen my entire crypto portfolio for 2024 with percentage breakdown, you can check that out. But I'm planning to ride at least 5%, maybe 10% long term. Pretty much for forever until we hit 3 and 4 digit XRP. But this cycle, and I'll rebuy it, right? Like it's not like I'm going to sell it, $8 and $11 and never ever buy it again. I will sell it at $8, $10, pretty much be 80-90% out at that point, and then I'll look to rebuy it in the lower, somewhere closer to around $3 to $2. So that's my plan. And then also if we take a look at XRP BTC, you can see here we had this hidden RSI bullish divergence. We were trending lower highs, lower lows on the price action, higher lows, higher highs on the RSI. We're gearing up for an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross here as well on the exponential moving averages. And we were daily oversold, we were weekly oversold, and not quite monthly, but if we just take a look at the historical levels, XRP versus BTC in that denomination has never really gotten below this level at 37, and we just hit 39. So again, and this time we have legal clarity. And usually when we get this extended down past our, when we get this far away from our exponential moving averages, what price tends to want to do is gravitate back towards it, right? So it's looking like downside here is very limited, if not already in. And then look at the lack of resistance here on the weekly time frame. And then on the daily time frame, like I said, we could be gearing up for an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross over the next really few days. On the weekly time frame, I would say a few weeks before we see an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross. But it's looking like, into say April, May is when this thing's really going to get kicked off. And I made a post to Power Group Private members in the Power Group Private community. When was that? I said I'd be surprised if XRP wasn't trading above $1 in the next few weeks. And then I said I would be surprised if XRP wasn't trading at a new all-time high in the next couple of months. So I'm just taking a look here. Yeah, I can't seem to find it, but here it is. So if I bring up the Power Group Private community, this is all the way back in February 26th. I said I will be very shocked if XRP doesn't break above $1 over the next 1 to 2 months. I think this is a very realistic time frame. And then maybe I didn't. Yeah, I would say in the next 6 to 12 months, we could get an XRP ETF. And in my opinion, I think, 1 to 2 months, easily be over $1 from that point. So that would put us in March 26th. It's currently March 11th. So that was my time frame, 1 to 2 months to be back over $1. And here we are today hitting 74 cents. So we get very, very close. And then what we will expect is, like I said, between April and May, I think over the next, between now and say the end of May, I think we could easily hit new all-time highs. And then, like I said, if we just bring up the history index here as well, let's reset this. I have to go to the monthly time frame here. Yeah, so we could come up, potentially set a new all-time high into May, and then kind of just consolidate for a couple months, and then into the end of the year, I think, and then spillage over into potential January, and then into January is when we start to top out. And that aligns with my thesis as well. The Fed is potentially set to cut rates into the summer, and generally after the Fed cuts rates, it's usually about 6 to 12 months before we start to see massive sell-off and bear market start to kick in, right? So it's looking right now that it's still looking like the case that we're going to see Feds cut rates. They're going to turn dovish some point into the summer, and then after the elections, after that, November, we should find out, or the inauguration or the new administration, if Biden doesn't win again, would be in January. And then, like I said, that's looking basically where the markets are going to top out right into December and January. And then we could expect to pull back to around $2 and then continue our ascent from there. But I am not going to be greedy when it comes to XRP. I've got most of my XRP. I bought it under 40 cents. So when we get to $8 to $11, I'm pretty much going to be 80 to 90% out at that point. But everything is looking great. We're going absolutely parabolic here in terms of the MACD and the stochastic. On the weekly time frame, we're well above the 10-week moving average. We're seeing 1 penny away from seeing the 50 and the 200-week moving average bull cross. The last time that happened, again, we went from 11 cents all the way up to $1.96 in the middle of an SEC lawsuit with no legal clarity. Now we have legal clarity, and we're seeing a monthly EMA 12 and 26 bull cross and a 50 and 200 weekly moving average, simple moving average bull cross. So it's hard to find a more bullish chart right now than XRP. And this is going to be one of the absolute laggards that just melts faces. And we're gearing up for a golden cross here as well over the next couple of weeks. You can see the 50-day is set to come up above the 200 and the 100-day moving average all in one go. And when the 50 is below the 200 and they cross, that's called a golden cross. So like I said, it's hard to fathom that it's been 6 years that we had to wait. But like I said, the wait is almost over. And in my opinion, everybody who stayed the course is going to be glad that they did. And then obviously, having a diversified portfolio, I made a couple of videos recently that I made, close to 500% returns on my FLR, my Flare token. I was able to sell pretty much all of that. I sold about 90% of it, and I rotated that into XRP, and I also sold some HBAR profits as well. I was up over 100% on that one, so I took a lot of the profits from HBAR and rotated that into more beaten down XRP, and that was around 50, just under 60 cents, I think. And here we are hitting 75 cents almost today. So far it's been playing out well, and I think it's going to continue to be a great move and a great decision. But I'm excited. Like I said, I think it's pretty much baked in at this point. We're going to hit $8 to $10 at some point in 2024. Maybe it spills over into 2025. But like I said, I think very, very realistic that between now and the end of the year, we could easily be trading at $11. But let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. Always love hearing from you. It's Rod with Power Group. Thanks again for joining us in the pursuit of wealth, and we'll see you again on the next video.